we are moving to gender topic and how satire can be used to raise the issues of gender. But before I say more about the topic, I want to introduce my two really distinguished guests. They are one from Poland, Agata Diduszko-Zyglewska. I hope, Agata, I managed to pronounce it well. A commentator, a journalist, a social activist. Agata is the author and host of Przy Kawie or Sprawie. Please correct me, Agata. I did try my best. The feminist satirical program. Agata is also author of several publications on women's rights, state-church relation, culture, education, and social issues. Another great lady with me right now, Brigita Zemen from the Czech Republic, from Czech TV Nova, so producer, online program producer, a journalist by profession. Brigita was also editor of online magazine in Czech News Center Media House, and she's one of the script writers for, help me Brigita with pronunciation again, Branky Body Kokoti.
That was perfect, actually.
There we go. So I managed at least with one name of one show. So you will translate for us, both of you.
Sure.
But from Czech, the name of this program, and Agata of her program. So Agata, can I go first to you? Can you tell me how did you come, who came with this idea to use satire to turn upside down gender stereotypes, and how is it working? Is it working?
Yes, that's a crucial question. Hello, everybody. So I came with the idea of making the program that English title would be Hot Coffee, Hard Topics. One day when we had this problem that was connected with the decision of the Minister of Health, who happened to be religious fundamentalist. And he decided that women in Poland shouldn't be able to buy the day after pills without prescription, because he said what they usually say, that women are irresponsible, that they would eat it like cookies and things like that. So there was this very huge discussion, national debate about this issue. And from one day to another, I was watching with growing anger that in this debate, of course, the majority of people speaking if the day after pill is a good contraceptive, safe, and so on, were men, of course. And there were many political programs in which there were only men speaking about it. And these were the mainstream programs. And as I've been working already in Krytyka Polityczna, which is my place of main journalistic place of reference. And we have been doing a research together with some other NGOs and organizations, referring to how many women in general in Poland are present in the political debates of mainstream. And the results of our research was really alarmistic, because it turned out that there was no more than 14% of women in all the debates. And there were many debates with no women at all. And it didn't matter if it was about abortion, the day after pill, whatever. So one day when I watched, and of course me and other feminist journalists, we were at that time, it was 2016, writing a lot of serious, full of data, full of research results, full of arguments, text saying you cannot do it like that. It's very crucial that there will be the perspective of women that are more than half of our society in the political debate, especially on these subjects, but it didn't change anything. They were just the producers, the journalists, they were just deaf about it. They wouldn't listen. So one day I came to my workplace, to Krytyka Polityczna, and I was just, okay, we just have to do our own political program on that with only women, and we will be doing it like that we will be saying that, of course, gender doesn't matter at all. I'm only trying to have the best experts on the subject because that's what they say. And I really don't care if they are men or women, but they will be always women, and the subjects will be strictly connected to the men. Like if Viagra should be prescribed, if male masturbation is something criminal, how to be a good father, and things like that. So that's what I did. I just called some of my friends, journalists, and I asked them to participate, and I asked them to paraphrase very closely what the politicians, what the bishops were saying on the subject of the day after pill. And our subject was Viagra and potential and things like that. And we did it. And of course, we were very serious, and we were only girls. And I was talking that, of course, we are just experts and gender doesn't exist at all. And what was a big, huge surprise for me, because I thought, okay, it's a great joke and it will be one of the jokes that we do in Krytyka. Suddenly, in a few hours' time, we had like 200,000 viewers, and all the media in Poland were writing about it, which was great because it was like, okay, so I managed to break a taboo. And what was great for me was that not only the mainstream media were writing about it, but my neighbor who was working for a company doing cosmetics, so she was like really nothing to do with leftist circles and bubbles and things like that, was like, hey, Agata, I just saw with my friends in our workplace this program that you did, it's so funny. So that was something that was very important for me, that we managed to break through the bubble to other circles, to other people. So I decided to continue, and we've made a whole series of these programs. And what I think is that the results were as follows. Of course, the journalists
Agata, can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah, sure.
You really got us interested in what you are doing, particularly when you mentioned Viagra. So can we see a piece of your show so that everyone gets an idea what
we're
you
talking
are
about?
doing?
Sure.
Thanks.
Na pewno wszystkie panie słyszałyście wypowiedź ostatnią ministra zdrowia, który powiedział, zacytuję tutaj, recepta jest konieczna, bo starzy mężczyźni łykają to jak cukierki. Ja jako katolik nie podałbym Viagry nawet swojemu synowi albo bratu, nawet jeżeli od tego zależałaby przyszłość jego związku. Mamy też bardzo podzieloną opinię publiczną wobec tej wypowiedzi ministra. Są obrońcy życia, którzy pikietują apteki sprzedające Viagrę bez recepty, bo jak twierdzą, dziecko poczęte w efekcie stosunku, w którym pomogła Viagra, będzie miało tak zwaną bruzdę powiagralną i syndrom postwiagralny, którego objawy przypominają skutki opętania. Z drugiej strony mamy grupę maskulinistów, którzy protestują pod Ministerstwem Zdrowia i twierdzą, że zażywanie Viagry należy do intymnej sfery życia człowieka i rzeczywiście każdy powinien sam decydować o tym, czy chciałby to robić, czy nie. Proszę, Elżbieto, może ty się odniesiesz pierwsza do tego.
No, ja muszę powiedzieć, że wypowiedzi ministra zdrowia są tutaj, takie powiedziałabym, drastyczne. Ja uważam, że trzeba mężczyzn jednak chronić po prostu przed Viagrą, bo jest to niezwykle silny lek, który powoduje szereg skutków ubocznych, więc tutaj w tej kwestii trzeba po prostu zdrowie mężczyzn chronić. Ale jest jeszcze jedna kwestia, o której się nie mówi, a mianowicie syndrom posterekcyjny. Tak? To jest rzeczywiście, jeśli chodzi o to, co mówią lekarze, to smutek, zagubienie, poczucie braku sensu życia, ale też ciężkie depresje. Tak? Znaczy my, polskich mężczyzn, po prostu musimy chronić przed tego typu sytuacjami, przed tak ciężkimi powikłaniami. No i trzeba sobie jasno powiedzieć, no tutaj działa lobby proerekcyjne. Tak? Znaczy, rzeczywiście w Polsce się sprzedało w ciągu ostatniego roku 4,5 miliona opakowań Viagry, czy też leków, które są oparte na tej samej substancji czynnej. No to są ogromne pieniądze i mężczyzn trzeba przed lobby proerekcyjnym po prostu ochronić. I to jest nasze zadanie.
Ale moja szanowna koleżanka
zapowiada... Po kolei, moje drogie, po kolei.
Bardzo ważne sprawy,
Agata.
o których mówi pani doktor, ale jednak są też sprawy fundamentalne. A fundamentalne jest to, że erekcja jest darem Bożym. Jest łaską pańską. Tajemnica małżeństwa, istnieje coś takiego jak tajemnica małżeństwa, pewien plan Boży, prawo naturalne. No i stosowanie Viagry po prostu przerywa Boży plan. No po prostu tego nie wolno robić. No to jest wbrew naszej moralności, naszej katolickiej tutaj funkcjonującej w Polsce moralności, którą prawie wszyscy tutaj
ja
po
rozumiem
prostu
oczywiście.
wyznają.
Rozumiem, że powołuje się pani na polską tradycję, to jest oczywiście dla nas wszystkich bardzo ważne.
To jest chrześcijańska tradycja, to jest europejska tradycja.
Ale chciałabym powiedzieć,
tradycja.
jak pani skomentuje wypowiedzi hierarchów, które jednak są takie bardzo ostre. Na przykład mamy tutaj taką wypowiedź z Krakowa. Ci faceci z piekła nie wyjdą. To o maskulinistach, którzy próbują walczyć o prawo mężczyzn do używania tego środka. Mamy arcybiskupa, który mówi, to co widzimy.
I think we all got the idea. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that was it, and it was we were citing, this was very close paraphrasing to exactly what they were saying about women and the day after pills, and that was really like, when we reverted it, people were suddenly like, what a bullshit is it?
But Agata, is this all scripted, or how does it work, this lady sitting around the table? They all have scripts prepared in advance, or how does it work?
I was preparing a general script, and I was giving the roles. So and they are all renowned journalists and renowned academics, which was great because people were really treating it seriously. And even there were a few years now, I still have guys who are writing to me and saying, how can you, or how Professor Korolczuk can say such things? So still there are people who don't get it, which is saying a lot about Polish reality. But technically speaking, I was preparing a script and I was giving them roles and I was saying what's the subject of the program, but they were looking for these citations, for these paraphrases themselves, and they were somehow preparing the roles so that we have all surprise, because it was to be a real political debate. We didn't want it to be very theatrical because they are not actors, so I didn't want them to have to, play because it would be fake. So they were really giving their arguments, and it was difficult for us to stay serious because the surprises were
serious experts on the issue.
Yeah.
Thanks, Agata. Let me move to Brigita, and then we have to open the floor for the questions because we have questions. Brigita, tell us about your show. I watched several times the clips. You speak so fast in your show, so please slow down now so that everyone can understand you. Go on, Brigita, please.
Hello, everybody. It's not me on the video, actually. It's our actress. It's actress we hired for this type of our show, which is
your twin sister.
Really? Okay, I will tell her. She will not be happy. She's much more prettier than I am. But anyway,
all women are pretty, Brigita. Okay. We are all pretty. Full stop.
All people are pretty. Okay. So the show we are making here in Czech Republic, I will call it probably like feminist news, because the format of it is like we are commenting and most of making jokes on 3 main topics. And the fourth one is like we're giving this award, which we called Pesi, which you can translate like asshole, chauvinist, pig of the week, something like that. And it's a word we give to men or woman who says something so stupid or sexist or transphobic or homophobic or racist or something in the week. It's not going weekly, but whatever. The specific of this show is that we managed to create it under the most read mainstream media in Czech Republic. We have this news that's called Blesk. It's something like the Bild in Germany. It's really the main news and tabloid in Czech Republic. And with our video content producer, because all women in the redaction and in the newsroom are feminists, so he was like, okay, let's use it and stop writing those articles that you are doing, but let's put it in the video and let's just spread it on the world. I'm very envious for Agata that she managed to go out of the bubble, because I actually think that our feminist news actually stayed in the bubble, and it's just, you know, some proof for woke people and people from LGBTQ plus community. But I still am happy about it, because at least we are here saying, hey, we are here and your voice is being heard. And we managed to put it in the mainstream media, which I think is good, because my idea is that you need to destroy patriarchy from the inside. You know, the more you are doing it in the mainstream media and in the mainstream space, the more impact will have it. But, you know, baby steps as always.
Let's now, Brigita, watch a clip from one of your programs so that everyone can see whether it needs to be in a bubble. To me, it doesn't look so.
Z něčeho prostě sranda dělat nejde, jako třeba z toho, že v sousedním Polsku prakticky zakázali interrupce. Už teď jste tu mohla napotrat jenom v případě, že jste počala během znásilnění, incestu, pokud těhotenství vážně ohrožovalo váš život, nebo byl poškozen plod. Což bylo v téměř 40milionovém Polsku za loňský rok přesně 1110 případů. Teď ústavní soud nutí ženy donosit i plody s těžkou vývojovou vadou, takže nové podmínky pro potrat bylo nesplnilo jen 36 Polek. Vítejte v zemi, kde si Viagru můžete koupit v lékárně stejně snadno jako Paralen, na rozdíl od Postinoru, který je jen na předpis a do 18 musíte být i souhlas rodičů. Je to neuvěřitelné, že uprostřed Evropy musí ženy vyjít do ulic a zoufale bojovat o právo na vlastní tělesnou integritu. O právo, který tu zjevně platí jenom pro ty, kdo nemají dělohu a v ní oplodněný vajíčko. Prdel to není! Ale v prdel je to dokonale.
So, Viagra is the topic in each show we watch tonight.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Brigita and Agata, question for both. I know for Agata that you mentioned YouTube, but is that where your show goes? It doesn't go to any TV station in Poland? And then for you, Brigita, where is it aired, the show you produce?
Yeah, so concerning Przy Kawie o Sprawie, it's the main now place is YouTube, because everybody's looking for it there. But the premiere always is on the page of Krytyka Polityczna, because this is the production of Krytyka Polityczna. So this comes from this newsroom, and this is the platform where it originally is, but then we move it to YouTube because it's more available, and that helps to get it out of the less leftist bubble into the space that everybody can look for it, and people do.
And Brigita, what's the case with your show?
Okay, so it goes on the Blesk CZ, which is the main web page of the Blesk of the Czech News Center media house and the Blesk itself, the news, and also for the MOL TV, which is some other portal like video portal connected to the Czech News Center. We actually are not putting the whole episodes on the YouTube because it's created under the media house, so it's the property of the media house. And of course, there are some advertising pre-rolls and something, and so they are not giving content for free, which I think sadly cannot go for more people. But you know, it's always about the money. So this is it. And also, I envy Agata the population of Poland, which is like 40 million, and another like 20 or 30 million abroad. So it's great that you can have more viewers for your show. But in Czech Republic, we have like 10 million people and another 2 million abroad. So the Czech language is very limited. And I think if we have the the English subtitles and put it on YouTube, it could be spread more worldwide. But you know, what can you do?
A question for both of you. You know the case of Charlie Hebdo and Satire, and then there has been ever since a debate whether journalists should be using satire when, you know, trying to find out what's happening around them. What's your, obviously you both believe that satire is the way, but what you think about this debate around the question?
I would say that there are some subjects that can be unveiled only through the means that are going beyond the regular serious means, and these taboos to be broken, they need to be shown in a different way. And I believe that especially in connection with things connected to fundamentalists, to religion, it's very important because the religious things, and I'm talking about it because in Poland, you know, we have a huge problem in it, and this barbarian abortion ban that was launched lately by the tribunal, so-called tribunal, because it's not legal in 100%, was somehow lobbied by the religious fundamentalists. So it is very important to deal with them. And in Poland, we had this huge problem for centuries with the domination of Catholic Church and with the prevalence of Catholic Church in the public space and with their privileges. So, and they are very, very serious, and that's their way of doing things, that they put themselves as, you know, people who the relation is that they speak and you are silent. So people, even though they do not respect them and know that they cheat and that they get money they shouldn't get and that they are pedophiles and they are doing bad things to kids, people are like, okay, we can whisper about it, but we cannot talk about it loudly. It was like that for many years, thanks to our work, because I'm also the co-author of the map of church pedophilia in Poland. So these are the other things. But doing these things and making fun of some of these things, we somehow put them from this pedestal. We somehow say to people, they are regular people. They should act according to the Polish law, and they don't have this immunity. You just can talk to them and so on. And I really feel that satire is the genre that really makes people see things that are for them transparent, that are invisible. And that's exactly what happened after Przy Kawie, Sprawie, that there were many people coming and saying, come on, I was really not seeing that all men discussing this or that is a problem. And now I am, and I see this change. That of course there were many factors, but Przy Kawie o Sprawie was one of them. That suddenly, especially women, started to really see it very clearly. That again there is another program with only men, and one of them is a priest who is speaking on behalf of women, you know, and this is something that they just didn't see, because we were so used to this situation. We were born in such a country, and so I believe that it is very, very, very useful tool, because it really takes people in a way that they do not expect to be treated. So it really puts them out of the box that they sit in, which is very important in life, I believe. So it's just a good tool for a journalism.
Brigita, is satire sometimes the only way to approach an issue in journalism?
Oh, definitely. But actually, if you are thinking about the Czech Republic, we have a very strong tradition of the political satire. It started in 50s when we were part of the Soviet Union, of course. And because we are the most atheistic country in Europe, nothing is actually saint for Czech people. So we are making jokes of pretty much everything. And I always say, if you can make jokes in pub about raping children, you can really make jokes about politics. So I think the satire for us and for the feminist agenda or something is like pretty natural tool how to try to communicate some topics or some problems. But the other problem is that because people are very used to, it's like, you know, you take nothing really serious, and it's always like, ha, that's very funny. Let's move on. Let's share it on Facebook, and that's pretty much it. So
to deal with hard questions, we love sometimes to deal with hard questions.
Yeah.
There are questions now for both of you. If you don't mind, I'll just read some of them. Well, the first one comes from Michael Anland. A question to Agata: if you are on YouTube, do you allow comments, and how much comments do you get there?
Yes, we do allow comments, and it's a lot of them. And what's good that, because of course the danger is that it can be somehow used only by trolls, and then there is no space for anybody else to share anything about this problem, the program. But in this case, as it was such, in a very short time, a lot of viewers saw it. So there was this natural wave of positive comments. And then there were these right-wingers, fundamentalists who came, and they were like, it's awful and things like that, all this trolling stuff. But I thought that I saw from the very beginning that there was a very live discussion among these people who were commenting. So we decided that because of that, it's worthy to keep it, because of course it worked for the program. So that's it.
Thanks, Agata. There is a question for you, Brigita, from Tapani Tabonuge. Sorry for pronunciation. Where can we find your video online, preferably with English subtitle? Oh, yeah, you are getting new audience, Brigita.
That's the problem. We don't have the episodes with the English subtitles, but actually our producer changed the media house. So we will be creating new content for another media house, and maybe there will be the possibility of having the English subtitles. So, you know, friend me on Facebook, and when it will be ready, I will send you the link. That's the only thing I can do, probably.
Well, that's a possible cooperation. Agata, there is a not a question, but more like a suggestion from actually panelists from the previous segment of this session, from Tetiana Pechonchik from Ukraine. So basically, she's begging, it's an appeal to you and your colleagues in Poland to continue fighting this anti-LGBT initiatives because, as she says, Ukraine politicians, they look at Poland and they say, if Poland is doing this, then this is the right thing. We should be doing that because these are European values. So keep doing it. Basically, that's what comes from Tetiana. And if you have any comments, Agata, you already mentioned LGBTQ free zones in Poland. I think like 1/3 of Poland is LGBTQ free zones. Maybe some, comment to Tetiana.
Yeah, it's a very, very serious situation because the ruling right wingers, together with the Catholic Church bishops, they used this anti-LGBT hate speech as a political tool because they really don't deal in a professional way with COVID-19 situation, with other situations. We have a big crisis in education, so they decided that they, of course, have to somehow take our attention to some other subjects, and they found out the enemy, which are, of course, LGBT people and youngsters. And this is something very, very scary because we already have the highest level of the suicidal attempts among the teenagers who are LGBT. And we also have this crisis in the health sphere concerning psychological care and psychiatrist care, because we don't have money to have psychologists in schools because we have to give a lot of money to the Catholic Church, So that's the problem that we have. And unfortunately, the ruling party, Law and Justice, they are really doing things faster and faster. Lately, they changed the Minister of Education to the fundamentalists, who is telling that there is no place in schools for any lessons of tolerance, of acceptance, of human rights, because these are the evil things coming from the European Union. So we are in a very difficult situation. And of course, I'm in the movement. I'm also a part of the women's strike. I cooperate with them. And there is a huge crowd of people who started to be active, who started to fight, because now parents know that it's about life and safety of their children, and people know that it's about their future. So it's a very dangerous situation on the one side, but on the other, the society is really being more and more and more active in defending themselves. So, and we of course need any possible help from abroad concerning commentaries, concerning feedback. So that's what I'm telling to the audience too, that this is something that we really need.
Sorry, Brigita, we are living a bit outside of this discussion, but
no problem. I actually think what is happening in Poland is really terrible.
I mean, right now, European Commission is deciding on potential sanctions against Poland, Hungary, maybe Slovenia, which will be a historic act, which has never happened in the history of the European Commission. So is this helpful, Agata, what the European Commission is doing, or would it be a more aggressive approach to the whole issues, like respond to so-called Western democratic liberal values?
I think it is a very good move, and the democratic part of the society are really waiting for this active response from the European Union and from the Commission, because the point is that the right-wingers use the national media to somehow cheat on people. They are giving them different picture of reality that is very far from the reality. And the only way to somehow show that this is cheating, that it is the false picture, is when they don't have more money to do it. So this bonding money with the law is very, very good move, because it means that Poland can lose a lot of money and they cannot hide it because it's too much money. A lot of investments will be stopped. There will be no money for the things that were supported by the European Union. And it will be very, very difficult to explain people that it just disappeared. So they can then say that, of course, the European Union is bad. But the thing is that historically looking, we know that people in Poland were reacting very, very aggressively in the moments when these political things were connected with lack of money. So I really think that this move of the Commission can help to reveal the truth about the situation and the bad ruling of Poland now. We can't hear you. You have to unmute.
Yeah, sorry. Thanks, Agata, a lot. Brigita, final word before I pass the floor to Jeremy, who is in charge of the show.
Oh, final word. I'm really concerned about what is happening in European Union and actually in our neighborhood, like Poland or Slovakia or Hungary. And I think it's completely madness that this can happen in the Europe and inside the European Union. So I thank you, Agata, for everything you are doing, because like we support you so much. And if there is anything we can do for Polish women, we will do it, of course. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
keep working, and I hope we will make it one day.
Yes,
We are
have
with you,
to.
Agata. All the best. Thank you both. Thank you, Agata. Thank you, Brigita.
Thank you very much
Hope
for
we'll
having me.
continue this conversation. Have a lovely weekend.